everyone! I am going to do my speech today on how to plant a plant, what you want to plant it in, and what kind of plants are going to be best for you. Mostly what I'm doing today is going to be inside plants, house plants, and I've got a variety of different things to put them in. This one is an actual pot. And then I've also got things like this vase I found I'm going to plant things in. So first, to pick out what kind of plant you want, what's going to be best for you. If it's going to be an indoor plant, you're going to want to go with something like begonias that do well inside, or jade. I've got one here, or another succulent. A lot of succulents are really good for air purification, and so especially inside, they're really good to keep like things from getting really stuffy. I've also got herbs that I'm going to do today, like thyme and chives. And then I'm also going to do a lavender plant. And these are good to do inside. Most herbs are going to be full sun, so they need at least 8 hours, if not more, of sunlight a day. But one nice thing about lavender is you can just kind of run your hand through it and it releases a really nice smell. So we've got those. What plant you want to pick really depends on how much you want to pay attention to it, and if you want something like very particular, or if you want something just kind of there and you water every once in a while, and it really doesn't need like deadheading, which is picking off the dead parts of it. I don't know if this begonia, yeah. So just leaves that have turned brown or yellow like this one has on the edges. You want to pick off, and that just keeps your plant looking nice. And it keeps it longer from dying. Begonias aren't very intense, they don't need a lot of deadheading, but things like petunias, like this, are going to take a lot. This one hasn't been done in a few days, so you can see there's a bunch like that. And you just want to pick those off. And you can kind of tell if something's dead on it, if it just kind of gives it up easily. Like these flowers on the begonia, you can tell aren't dead because they don't come off too easy. Herbs are really good if you like foliage plants, and you can also put them in your cooking, which makes them good for like a kitchen plant, and you don't really have to pay too much attention to them. You know, just water them every once in a while. And most things, you just want to touch it to know if you need to water it and see if any dirt sticks to your finger or not. And if it does, it usually doesn't need watering, and if it doesn't, then it does need to be watered. Alright. One thing about using something like a vase instead of a pot, or even some pots don't have drainage holes in them. I've got a pot here that doesn't. And so for that, we're going to need to put some rocks on the bottom. I've just got a bag of white marble here from a nursery, and it's just like a bag of gravel, really. You have little rocks to put in the bottom of your pots. And you can do that that too if your pot is quite a bit deeper than your plant is tall. Like if I was going to put this begonia in here, I would need to build it up a little so that you want the bottom leaves to be right at the rim of your pot. And when you're going to pick out a pot, the garden store that I work at, you've got the size of the pot on here of what these are already potted in, and then on the inside label there, it also says what size pot that will fit in the pottery. So this one is perfect to go in here. And you won't need rocks to build it up, really. You will need some for drainage so that the water has somewhere to go. Alright, I'm running out of time, so I am going to start potting. So what you're going to do is kind of squish around the pot. And then if you take it sideways, it just kind of comes out. I need to put a little bit of dirt in the bottom of my pot. I have just a bag of dirt. It doesn't have anything extra in it, no fertilizer or anything. And we're having a storm right now, so I'm doing this in my bathroom. And you just want to pour the dirt in, and some's going to fall out of that drainage hole. But that's alright. You just kind of want to pat it down, and then make some room for your plant. If you got too much, that's alright, just throw it back in. It ain't gonna hurt it none. Make a little hole for your plant to sit in the dirt. And then just put it on its side. Swap it out. And then the extra room around it, you're going to fill with more dirt. And that's pretty much how you plant a plant and what ones are going to work best for you. And after you get the soil in there, you're going to want to spray it a little. And for some plants, like my begonia here, you're going to want to break up the roots a little bit because they will be in kind of a ball from being in such a small pot. But yeah, thank you.